Hello everyone. Today's date is 11th of July 2022 and today we are going to discuss about two-way data binding. So whenever we talk about a data binding basically a process to synchronize the model and the UI or a business logic or data with the UI or HTML's data. So when the data binding basically used in the frameworks to develop the application, there are a number of frameworks available in the market such as React.js, Angular.js and Vue.js also. Now the data binding can be achieved by two ways. The first is one-way data binding and the second way is a two-way data binding. One-way data binding basically means there can be only flow of data from unidirectional. It will basically the data can only be changed from TypeScript file to the HTML file. As we know that there are the types of file to develop the any application or to have a front end scene of the application. There are HTML files there are TypeScript files there, CSS files also there. So one-way data binding basically means it do not reflect any changes between the model and the view. The React.js do support the one-way data binding. Angular.js also support the data binding, which is a one-way. It can be achieved by using a property in the Angular.js. Now, if you talk about two-way data binding simply means whenever a change is made in a UI or from the view by the user, it can reflect in the model or in the business logic or in the TypeScript files where we written a code to view the for the user. And on the similar way, if we change anything on the model side or business logic side, then it will automatically reflect in the view side or to the browser or user. So basically this is what changes in one part do definitely reflect in the another part. So this is what a two-way data binding is. Then the question has arrived that why do we need to have a two-way data binding? So two-way data binding basically used to create an interactive and the very interactive and the applications with a number of functionalities and to support the user's requirement. Two-way data binding to ensure that it will show the view or particular data to the user as per his requirement, and user can change his view as per their requirement or as per his or her requirement. And basically this is happened because of we are using two-way data binding in it. So Angular do support two-way data binding. If we talk about React.js, it will not support two-way data binding. Now let's see how to implement two-way data binding in the Angular. As we know that there are components, there are DOM files in the Angular. So in order to implement two-way data binding, we need to first use a directive which is called as ng module. So to define, or basically the syntax of ng module is an open square bracket followed by the open parenthesis bracket, and in it we represent an ng model, and then obviously it is an directive ng model. It must require a form module to import from the angular.forms or /forms. So we need to import form modules also, so that we will get the whole functionalities of the form module. And by using this ng module, then we can write any code or any part of headers or body in the TypeScript and HTML also. Now this will seen by the user or by the user browser. Now whenever let's say you have a number of buttons in your view page, and you have done some program which is used to store the data of a particular n number of students. And now if user is adding the data from the UI path or from the HTML body, then it will temporarily store in the TypeScript files. So if user want to delete that data from the table, then it will also delete it from the TypeScript file, because we use their two-way data binding, and due to that user can basically have the access to change the view of that particular or his particular application as per his requirement. This is the main use of two-way data binding. So this is about two-way data binding in Angular. Thank you so much.